Let's reframe how you think about your body. What if it's not some biological mystery, but a high-performance hybrid engine? Seriously, it's designed to run on two completely different fuels. And the key to unlocking incredible energy and health isn't some secret diet. It's just learning how to operate the amazing machine you were born with.
So here's our blueprint for this explainer. We're going to start with your body's hybrid engine. Then we'll map out the communication network that keeps it all running. We'll look at what happens when the whole system breaks down, how scientists can actually read your metabolic dashboard, and finally, the exciting part, how you can update your own internal software.
All right, let's get right into it. The whole foundation of your metabolic health really is built on this one core idea. Your body is a super sophisticated hybrid engine. And like any good hybrid, it runs on two primary fuels. You've got carbohydrates, or glucose. Think of this as your high-octane, fast-burning racing fuel for immediate power. And then you have fats, or fatty acids. That's your long-range, super-efficient fuel for endurance. A truly healthy body is designed to switch between these two, just seamlessly.
Now, this ability to switch back and forth, it has a name. It's called metabolic flexibility. You can just think of it as your body's fuel selector switch. It's what allows you to maintain perfect energy balance, what scientists call homeostasis. You eat some carbs, boom, the switch flips to burning glucose. You're fasting or going for a long run, boom, it flips right over to burning fat. This adaptability, it's the absolute cornerstone of feeling fantastic.
So you might be wondering, who's actually in charge of flipping the switch? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a constant, high-speed conversation between all of your organs. Let's take a look at how that communication network really operates.
One of the most important conversations happening inside you right now is along the muscle-adipose axis. It's simple, really. Your muscles are the workers, always busy, always using energy. And your fat tissue, that's the warehouse, storing all that energy for later. So when you exercise, your muscles, the workers, release these chemical messengers. One of the most important ones is called interleukin-6, or IL-6. It basically sends a memo to the warehouse saying, hey, we're busy over here. Send out more fuel, now.
Okay, so if we zoom into the molecular level, this whole system is really governed by two master sensors. You can think of them like an internal dial, or even the yin and yang of your metabolism. AMPK, that gets turned on when fuel is low, like when you're fasting or exercising. It's the signal to start burning stored fat and to begin cleaning up old cells. On the flip side, MTRC1 gets activated when you eat. It's the abundant signal to grow, build, and store energy. A healthy system is all about keeping these two in perfect, beautiful balance.
But what happens when that balance is totally lost? When that fuel selector switch gets jammed, you end up in the state of, well, metabolic gridlock.
You ever wonder about this? Why you can feel completely, utterly drained of energy, even right after a big meal. I mean, you literally just filled up the tank with fuel, but the engine just won't go. This feeling is a classic sign of a broken switch.
This state has a name too. It's called metabolic inflexibility. Your body essentially gets stuck. It completely loses the ability to switch fuels efficiently. This can cause all sorts of problems, like fat getting stored in the wrong places, the liver, the heart, and it makes the entire system stall out. It's kind of like your hybrid engine is stuck in first gear, just revving high, wasting fuel, and going nowhere fast.
And a major cause of this whole breakdown is something called insulin resistance. The best way to think about it is signal interference. See, after you eat, a hormone called insulin is supposed to tell your cells, hey, open up and take in this glucose. But with insulin resistance, your cells, well, they can't hear the signal clearly. The glucose can't get in, that command to switch fuels is completely missed, and that leads directly to the metabolic gridlock we were just talking about.
Okay, quick pause here. Before we get into how we can measure and actually fix this, if you're finding this breakdown helpful and you really want to master the engineering of your own health, just take a second to subscribe and like the channel. We are decoding the science of human performance just like this every single week.
All right, now that we understand the problem, how do we actually measure it? How do scientists pop the hood and read your body's metabolic dashboard?
Well, they use a tool called the Respiratory Exchange Ratio, or RER. The easiest way to think of this is as a real-time fuel gauge. If you have a score around 0.7, it means your engine is running on fat. If your score is closer to 1.0, it means you're running on carbs. Simple as that.
So the really crucial thing isn't just the number at any one time, it's how much that number changes. Your true vitality score is what's called the delta RER. Delta just means change. It's the difference between your RER when you're fasting and your RER after you eat. A big, healthy swing from a low number to a high one shows your fuel switch is working beautifully. A tiny little change? Well, that means your switch is getting stuck.
And you know what? This brings us to the absolute best part. This switch isn't permanently broken. Not at all. You can actively perform a system update to repair it and literally engineer a better metabolism. So how do you do it? Well, research points to a few incredibly powerful ways to reboot your system. First up, intermittent fasting. This forces your engine to practice flipping that switch and getting good at burning fat again. Second, endurance exercise. This is like a tune-up for your mitochondria. Those are the tiny power plants in your cells, and it makes them way more efficient. And finally, things like strategic cold exposure can trigger these powerful adaptations that help restore that crucial flexibility.
So what all of this really shows is that your health isn't some static thing you either have or you don't. No, it's a dynamic, systemic process. And the best part is you are in the driver's seat. You have the tools to be the engineer of your own vitality.
So, now that you have the blueprint for your own high-performance engine, my question for you is, what's the first update you're going to make to your system?
Hey, thanks for watching the Vitality Algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and like so you can stay updated on how to engineer your own health. And you should also check out our Deep Dive podcast right here on this channel for a much more technical look at the latest metabolic data.
Remember, this content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult your doctor.